And a sweltering hot day it is too. Far too hot for anything energetic. However, the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway's Black 5, 45212, is due to arrive here at 13:15 with the West Coast Railway Company's Dalesman charter from York. I've had a late start this morning, coming in on the 11 a.m. train from Dumfries instead of my usual 9 a.m. A rake of Class 769s capable of either electric or diesel operation, en route from its Allerton base on Merseyside to Kilmarnock, presumably for maintenance. As we are getting set up to film the charter's arrival, a Pendolino draws in, named after the novel that Jane Austen never quite got round to writing.
service. This is a special charter train. Only customers with tickets for this service are permitted to board the train. For your own safety, you are reminded to stand behind the yellow line.
The 1408 for Barrow in Furness stands in Platform 1. A great day for a trip round the spectacular Cumbrian coast on a line which we're about to lose for a month due to, among other problems, water seepage into Whitehaven Tunnel. Tanks which have been brought from the MOD sidings at Eastridge between Gretna Green and Annan and are heading for North Blythe, Tyneside. However, there has been a fatality on the Tyne Valley line at Stocksfield this morning. All northern services to Newcastle are terminating at Hexham, and these tanks won't be able to set out on their journey until the emergency services in Northumberland have completed their work. He may be in for a long wait. I'm heading off to catch the charter on the line. It's scheduled to stop at Appleby, but I filmed there recently. I decide on Lazonby and Kirkoswald, which I haven't visited for some years. As I wait to board the train for Leeds, I spot the tanks moving off to Tyneside. In the heyday of the railways, the station master was a very important person in the community, and the station master's house here is quite a splendid affair. The parish church of St. Nicholas. The arrival of the Midland Railway in 1876 clearly made its mark on the village. Thankfully, this splendid railway line survived the determined efforts of British Rail to close it down 100 years later. As an afternoon Leeds to Carlisle train departs, I must plan for the highlight of the day. The buildings beyond the platform end are a bakery complex, and throughout my time here I've been assailed by the most tempting of aromas. The train approaching is the 1618 ex-Carlisle. I could have caught it, but would have had no time to see Lazonby or prepare for filming the charter, which will be following close behind it. Not many minutes later, 45212 appears from under Fiddler's Lane Bridge. I had expected her to pass at 60 miles per hour. Is she going to stop? Clearly she's getting too close to the service train ahead of her. I believe she was brought to a halt at Garsdale. Well, that's it for another day. Pack my kit, the train back to Carlisle, timed to narrowly miss the ongoing service to Dumfries. So, a meal in Wetherspoons, a later train to Dumfries, a long wait by the riverside for the last bus up the A76, and then the 2-mile trudge over the hill, on a glorious and much cooler evening. Indoors by 9:45. Thanks for watching, and here's to the next time.